Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Our Life the Show Christmas Special. Starring Sonja and Matt. And here are your hosts now.
Thanks, everybody. Good to be back here. Hello, I'm Matt.
I'm Sonja.
And welcome to the Our Life the Show Christmas Special. During this, I'm assuming, long special, we will be giving you some beautiful stories of our own childhood Christmases, as well as talk about some of our favorite toys and maybe moments. So sit back, relax, get yourself some cocoa, and enjoy the ride. Also, like, comment, subscribe.
Please.
Anyway, back to let's get this started. So, let's just go right out of the gate. What would your personal favorite Christmas memory be?
Personal favorite Christmas memory?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big question.
Well, go ahead and give it some thought.
Well, the first one that just popped in my mind is the year me and you were basically the only ones left in the house, and my dad decided to pull a prank, and he was giggling the whole time like a kid in a candy store. He got us matching PJ bottoms. They were Stewie. I still have mine. You...
From Family Guy, to be more specific. Stewie from Family Guy.
You had them, fell on your butt on the sidewalk, and it ripped. That's basically it.
Yeah.
I have, like, asking that, I'd have to, like, really dive deep. Like, all my Christmases have been good, and I've had a lot of them.
So, when I think of Christmas memories, I have a lot, like Sonja does. The one that always, I guess, sticks out to me first is when I got a certain item, which will be probably listed later, that I went to the bedroom. It was a video game console, and I was very young. We went to the bedroom, and I remember playing it to death. I was so happy I got it because it was the only thing I had wanted that year. And honestly, I didn't expect to get it. I guess because, being from a poor family, I've always felt like Santa just kind of, overlooked us a bit. But I did get it. I was very happy with it. And I went immediately into the bedroom to play it. And maybe played 20 minutes and ended up falling asleep with it on. Just right there on the floor, my face on the controller. Waking up 20 minutes later, having button marks on my cheek,
You almost destroyed it, sleeping on it?
I fell asleep on the controller, yeah. So what about I do apologize. We are unbelievably unprepared for this. It's been a busy week for us getting ready for our own Christmas here. So things probably are a little out of sorts from what I was planning. We do have a lot of good things planned for this Christmas, just us in general, plus for you guys.
And our son is like at the age where he is basically understands everything and really into it this year. So
yeah, and we obviously are going to be doing our traditions, and we have a lot of Christmas traditions that we go through. We have the Christmas Eve pizza, which is something that I started. Make pizza every Christmas Eve. I think we sort of discussed this in a previous episode. And this year I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Trying to actually make like the Tostino's pizza pockets. Those really small microwavable ones. I'm going to try making a homemade version of that, which may or may not turn out, but we'll find out what happens.
They'll probably have to be a little bigger to actually get all the stuff in it.
And as Sonja mentioned in her Jolly Findings episode, which if you haven't watched it, and you didn't even know it was out, make sure you click that bell for those notifications, Then you'll know when that shit comes out to you. She mentioned our Christmas coffee, which is... I honestly don't know when I started it. It was something we started with my family.
Yeah, it was your family that you just introduced to me.
Yeah, we just started... We put cinnamon, ground cinnamon in with the coffee grounds, and it gives it this cinnamon taste and aroma. That's, I guess...
Yeah, but it works so well. Like, it's like Christmas in a cup.
Yeah, it's like a very Christmassy flavor, I guess you could say.
You only put like a tablespoon in, right? Or a little less.
I'm not sure. I usually just powder the top of it until it's like...
Okay. You don't measure it.
What Christmas traditions, though, have you kind of lost, I guess, since we've been together? Something that you used to do a lot more with your own family versus what we do now?
Nothing really. Like my family, like in Thanksgiving, we would make the pies and whatever the night before our Christmas dinner. But the traditions we had was that we had to eat breakfast before we open presents. As I got older with my siblings, we're like, nah, we ain't eating breakfast. Let's open presents. But yeah, stockings would be first and then presents.
I guess breakfast is kind of where one of my traditions that we started when I moved to Louisiana versus live here now. One of the traditions that kind of fell off is my sister used to actually make beignets, which are, I guess, kind of like a fried dough donut sort of deal. They are popular down in Louisiana, obviously. She used to make those Christmas morning, and she used to put like powdered sugar on some of them, chocolate on others. So we kind of lost that particular tradition. And something that wasn't necessarily a tradition, but we did every few years, I guess you could say, is the midnight mass deal that I did with my mother and sister sometimes.
I would like to do that once, but every church that we have around here don't do it. They'll do it like 3 days before Christmas.
I mean, despite celebrating Christmas and everything, obviously I'm not very religious. So that's one of the reasons I personally don't do it anymore.
Yeah, but you said you wanted to do it once with me. Just show me it or whatever.
One of the reasons I wanted to do it with you is because there seems to be something different about the midnight masses. Maybe it's because the energy is a little different because everybody's exhausted. I mean, who wants to go to church at midnight, really?
So, I mean, I want to do it once just to, like, say I did.
But I also have memories of one of the ones I went to in Louisiana where everything that could possibly make you break in church, because, you know, everybody's supposed to be serious in church, you know, no laughing, joking around, and all that stuff, but anything that could possibly break you during a church sermon happened that night. Starting with the priest, he was on a hot mic, which is a mic that's live, and he was looking for his car keys, and you could hear him say, like, where are my goddamn car keys? I don't know if that picked up on the audio capture, but whatever. So you had the priest, I guess, using the Lord's name in vain, which is a sin, to start out the sermon. And then they did this reproduction, whatever. They did this production of the three wise men and the angels and all that stuff, you know, the nativity scene. Why the hell didn't I just call it the nativity scene to start with? Whatever. But they had three angels that were coming down the aisle, three people dressed as angels, and as they're walking, the middle one just falls flat on her face, and to cover up for it, the other two on either side just go, and they bow down to immediately try to cover up for the first one falling.
Way to go with the other two, though.
I know, yeah, thinking on their feet,
but
it was funny. And me and my sister are just trying not to die through that whole thing. Then I went home, and my mom was like, in a good mood because of this, and we just opened presents when we got home.
Oh, that's lame.
Kinda, but I got Halo 2 and my Xbox that day.
Yeah, but I like Christmas morning.
Well, we still had a Christmas morning because we opened our presents, but we still had my grandfather coming over and stuff, and all the shit he got us, most likely me, socks, and my sister, some extravagant item. So yeah, the memories like that are... and traditions, those are things I do miss. I mean, I'm not in a hurry necessarily to try doing the midnight mass thing up here because I don't know if anywhere does it or anywhere would be nearly as entertaining. But,
so I mean, before we had our son, we wanted to do it, but like no more, like they stopped doing it.
And with things the way they are currently, I have a feeling it'd be a pretty empty building at midnight, so... I could be wrong.
Exactly, so that'd be more fun.
Yeah, it would be just the priest talking to three people. He's like, what the hell are you doing here? I mean, I understand. You guys want to be here, Jesus, all that. But seriously, it's midnight.
Jesus.
Let's just call it a night. Hallelujah. Go to bed.
Well, two traditions that I have kept was, like, making cookies Christmas Eve. So, because all my siblings and stuff would come over to my parents when I lived there, so Christmas Eve just became one of those, I always make cookies now. Well, one of the things, too, was doing stockings at night, because you did that.
We did that, but we didn't actually do that every time either, kind of like the midnight mass. We did that a few times. One of the times that sticks out to me is when I was watching Boomerang with my sister. We did our stocking stuffers at like midnight, and then we couldn't sleep, so both of us were up. I was like 12, she was like 9. I don't know what the hell's what's our age difference. So somewhere around there, like 8, and we were watching the Boomerang, the Christmas specials, the old ones that they don't play anymore from cartoons like Yogi Bear and things like that. But going back to the cookie thing, when Sonja was making cookies one time, I just kind of fired up Turok on my PC. And Turok's a game I played a lot when I was a kid also, and I just kind of was in the mood to play it that night. And for some reason, I like doing that now. I like playing that Christmas Eve. If she's making cookies, that's usually when I play it. And that actually ties into why I'm going to be doing it this Christmas Eve. Hopefully it works. And if it does work, I plan to go live at 7 p.m., assuming nothing else is going on.
Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern time. And we'll have that information down at the bottom. We'll also link my Twitch down at the bottom. If for whatever reason that don't work out, sorry in advance. I'm going to try to do it. But if that in particular don't work, I actually have a backup plan. I'm going to actually play Family Feud on the Super Nintendo if that don't work.
Oh my god.
And for those that end up joining us through the Twitch chat live stream, you guys will be, I guess, part of the survey, if you will. You guys will be participating in the game. But that's if Turok don't work. So anyway, let's move on to our next segment. The segment everybody, I'm sure, is here for. We each have 4 toys or presents that we got for Christmas. They're not in any particular order, at least not for me. Actually, mine are probably really boring. And we're going to just talk about it, go back and forth about what makes them one of our favorites and the memory we have when we opened them. So I'll let you start.
Of course, I always start.
Do you want me to start? I mean, I can.
I don't care.
So I'm going to start. I think the first one I'm going to place here, and this is the one I was talking about, so I'll just knock it out now, was the Super Nintendo. That was the Christmas I talked about where I fell asleep on the controller and I had the 4 freaking button marks on my cheek when I woke up.
Oh, I thought that was the other one.
If it was any of the other ones, it'd be a lot more painful than a Super Nintendo controller, probably. But the Super Nintendo, obviously one of my favorite consoles. And in this particular, for that Christmas, I had seen it in a JCPenney catalog. I already knew about it, but I didn't know about Super Mario All-Stars. And that's like what I really wanted for Christmas was the Super Nintendo and Super Mario All-Stars. And my mom, I guess, or Santa, managed to find a combo pack that actually had the Super Nintendo and it had Super Mario World, but it also had Super Mario All-Stars. It must have been one of those Christmas deals they had going on. So yeah, I was really psyched. I was really excited, and it made one of my best Christmas memories. Alright, so go on.
Oh, we're just going back and forth. I'll say it was okay. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was a for real puppy. It was white and fluffy, and it's supposed to come to you when you're like, come here, and it was supposed to like actually move to your voice and stuff like that. This thing looked awesome. I saw the commercials all the time for it in Christmas. I don't know what year it was, but when I opened it, it was like my favorite gift that year. But this thing did not work. You'd say, oh, come here, and it'd go right into the wall. And I'm like, yes, it was great. Sometimes it worked, but most of the time it did not. But I was a young kid. It was an awesome looking toy, and it was cool that the thought of it coming to you actually when you called it.
Seeing that you brought up a toy that just didn't work, this is not on my list, so I can talk about it real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I got like a knockoff version of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater skateboarder RC car thing. It was remote controlled, regardless. And we put the batteries in that the day the Christmas day when I got it because I was excited to play with it, even if it was a knockoff. And that probably lasted like an hour. And not only did it stop, did the batteries stop working, it just stopped altogether. Like, it didn't work again after that. So, yeah, that was like my biggest disappointment, I guess, as far as anything I got. Not that that was even supposed to be part of this, but it made me think of it. So, I guess I'm going on to my second one, unless you have anything else on that. So, my next one is, I'm going to mix it up here and go a little more recent, is a book that Sonja got me. And Jesus, I should have just had it with me. It would have been a lot easier to show it off. But basically, it's a language book to teach hiragana and katakana. And I thought it was really cool, obviously, when I got it last year. I wasn't expecting it. But what makes it one of my favorite gifts is it has probably been one of the most useful gifts I've actually gotten. Ever. Even though it's just like one book that's like 300 pages, it's actually done a lot to... I know hiragana now pretty damn well because of that book. So that's why I really appreciate that book and I really like it. And I need to get back to it because I've been kind of slacking. Maybe. And
then next, kanji.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a whole different beast. We'll see about that. But I do thank you very much for that one.
You're welcome.
But anyway, now on to you. Sticking
with the for real theme, I love pandas. They're my favorite animal, and they made a series of for real actual baby animals. They had a panda, they had I think a monkey, and the other one was like polar bear or something like that. There's like 2 or 3 different ones, and my mom knew I liked pandas, so she got me it's supposed to be like a baby panda, and it comes with a bottle that actually grabs it, and like it made noise and stuff. I don't even know if they are authentic panda noises, but it was my favorite toy ever. But some of my siblings thought it was creepy because how it acted, because I think it blinks and it actually it kind of purred. I remember that it made weird noises when it drank, and then when you took the bottle out, it would burp. I don't know, it was weird. I liked it though because I want a panda.
Well, I can't quite give you that, unfortunately.
And this is why this marriage needs to get back on track.
So, going back to my more predictable and boring top 4, but hey, these are my 4 favorite gifts, would probably be the Nintendo 64, which is still, even though it's not for other people, it's still my favorite console. And when I got it, again, it was another one of those things, really wanted it, asked Santa, was begging and whatever. I kind of got in trouble, though, with my family on Christmas morning, because I went down really early to look at the presents and stuff when everybody else was still in bed, and I noticed one that was marked from Santa, but said, from Santa, open after your grandmother's gift. My grandmother was the one that got me the N64, and when I saw that box, for some reason I was more curious to open it because of what it said on it, so I opened that immediately, without, anybody else in the house even being awake. And it was BioFreaks for the N64. And that basically spoiled the fact that I'm getting an N64 for Christmas from my grandmother.
No, you're just getting pieces of it.
And I didn't want... I tried so hard to wrap it back up, and that wasn't going to work. So I tried hiding the present, which was probably dumber. I hid it underneath a dresser. And then, I had to try to explain where that present ended up going. I ended up coming clean before I opened anything else up that morning, and they were mad. They were doing the whole threaten to, bring it back to the store thing, but they didn't. So yeah, that sticks out to me because 1, it was awesome that I got the N64, but 2, I got in trouble. 3, BioFreaks was not a game that I should have been playing at that age. But that's besides the point, I guess, here, right?
Bad.
What? Yeah, I was a bad boy.
Alright. This one's gonna blow some people's minds. I hope we should get a picture. Anyway.
There'll be pictures up here if I can put them.
Late 90s, early 2000s, inflatable things were popping. And
probably quite literally.
So, one year, it was so freaking awesome. I got 2 blow-up chairs and a little table that had a hard top, but it was also blow-up. And they were fucking comfortable. excuse my French, and they're purple, like a metallic purple, and they were big. Like, my siblings wanted them, and I think I was younger than 10, but these things are awesome. One of them did pop very fast, but the second one lasted for a while, and they did come with patches, but I think it's because my brother or somebody, like, sat in it too hard, and it kind of just went BAM!
My last gift was, I guess, circa like 2002. Yeah, because it was exactly 1 year after, September 11th, which I seem to remember a lot from that period. Anyway, what it was the Nintendo GameCube. And this whole Christmas week that I got the GameCube was hell. I had probably the worst run of luck I've ever had in my life during that. In terms of clumsiness, is more what I'm talking about. So that week started out where I went over to my sister's house because she actually had the presents hidden there, which we'll get to in a minute. I went over there for some reason. I went over to her house and I knocked over a whole tower of potted plants that she had set there. Just knocked them all the fuck over. I come home that same day. I open up our fridge and a bunch, this happens to a lot of fridges, but one of the shelves fell off. And when it fell off, hot sauce and a couple other things that were in glass bottles just fell and shattered. I put my sister through a huge mirror with my butt because we were wrestling or messing around, and I just butt bumped her and knocked her clean into the mirror. Luckily, she didn't get cut up, but I'm sure my luck after that, if you're superstitious, wasn't great. To top it off was Christmas morning. I woke up and the first thing I did was punch my dog in my sleep.
Did he give a look like, you son of a bitch?
Well, my dog did not trust me much that day because of something else, which I'll get to in a second. But no, the first thing I did, I don't know if I was, what I was dreaming or what, but I full-blown decked my dog while I was sleeping. And she yelped. I felt bad.
Okay, it was Marshmallow. I couldn't remember.
Then I went to my sister's house to pick up the presents, and I carried in presents and dropped just one of them, but that one ended up being the Nintendo GameCube that I was getting, and I threw it clean into a snowbank. Luckily, obviously, with wrapping paper, the box, all that stuff, nothing was damaged.
Yeah, because probably had plastic around it, right?
And plus the snowbank itself cushioned the fall, I guess, from hitting the ground. So yeah, I opened the GameCube, and I got the Nintendo GameCube, which I'll get to in a second. I want to finish off what I did to my dog. I also dropped a full-blown pot of potatoes on her head. They weren't cooked yet, they were still raw potatoes, but I still... Yeah, which is probably heavier, honestly.
Yes.
I dropped it on her head by accident. So, yeah, it was a run of bad luck, I guess. And my dog didn't trust me for a while. But yeah, I opened the Nintendo GameCube. I got the GameCube. It was the indigo one, the purple one. And I got Simpsons Road Rage with it. The one that's like the Crazy Taxi clone. Probably not the best game, but it's the one I got. I think I also got Legends of Wrestling for the GameCube also that day, which also isn't a great game, but it was... I liked it. I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, that's my last one on my list.
My last one was my dad's last Christmas, and I don't know, my dad was really good at getting random gifts that actually fit the person or ended up being awesome, but he gave me a Ninja blender. At first I was like, what the hell am I going to use a blender for? But I'm like, I can make smoothies and stuff like that, but I've used it for so many things with baking, smoothies, iced coffee, and I've had it, I don't even know how long.
I mean, it was... Were we living on our own when you got it?
No.
We weren't. So, yeah, it must have been at least 9 years. At the least. So.
8 or 9 years, yeah.
So.
But I was just, so surprised that I loved it so much and everything. And then at Christmas, I got the rest of my Scrub DVD, so that's good.
9 years at 8 or 9 years, like you said, and that thing's still working strong.
I didn't have to sharpen the blades yet either.
I wish technology held up nearly as well as kitchen appliances do. Not all kitchen appliances hold up. We went through, 3 coffee pots?
Yeah, but the first one was small. The second one got warped or something, but...
So anything you guys want, or anything else you want to add to this Christmas episode while we have everybody here?
The only thing I was going to add is, like, back to the tradition thing is we always got either a new video game or board game, and we'd always play it that night after dinner or whatever.
Yeah, and
Family game night!
When I've been having financial issues or anything, also, I've had to get a little creative with some of the gifts I've given her. Speaking of board games, like, I've made her a complete board game with little pieces that have our face on it and everything like that. Maybe we can get some B-roll of the pieces after, but yeah, I enjoy Christmas. I've enjoyed it a lot more, I think, in the last 10 years than I probably have in a while.
Because you have me.
And that's one reason. And I'm glad that I get to see my son have the same experiences that I had, or similar experiences, watching him open gifts, thinking Santa brought them, and being surprised on Christmas morning. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because like I said, he's at the age where he's into everything now. Like, he understands it.
Maybe a little too well. But I do thank you guys for watching. Again, this same day that this is going up, Turok will be hopefully streamed on my Twitch account starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us for that, because if Turok don't work out, we're still going to have some fun. Other than that, thank you guys for watching this Christmas special. I hope you guys have a great holiday. And join us next week for a very special New Year's extravaganza, as we will be attempting to do a live stream that night.
Yay.
Thanks for watching. See ya.
Boy.